Hello and welcome to the Roncalli Ascension St. Vincent Gymnasium for Roncalli Men's Volleyball, our first broadcast of the year versus Zionsville. I am here with Coach Jessica Bell, the assistant for the girls volleyball and the all-time assist leader at Miami, Ohio University. So we have some pretty credible sources on the air for you guys tonight.
Yeah, we're excited to be here.
Our pregame show is brought to you by Indianapolis Fruit, a family-owned leader in quality and produce since 1947, delivering everything from organic produce to gourmet grab-and-go offerings. That's at indyfruit.com. And tonight, as I said, it's our first broadcast for the men's volleyball team, and this is a big one because this team is quite literally the best in the state, possibly the best in the Midwest. They are going on 4 state championships in a row. Nick Jennings just crossed his 100-win mark as a head coach. He's quite literally never lost a state championship, and he's ready to get this new season started.
Yes, and they actually have 5 total state championship and 4 in a row, which is quite amazing.
And talking to Nick, his keys to the game tonight were obviously for ball control. That's going to be a key to every single volleyball game that ever occurs. But he's really proud of his ball control and his men's team because it's not always a focus on the men's game.
Yes, that's correct. Very different than women's or girls volleyball, where you see a lot of really good ball control. It's very challenging to get boys to have ball control because they're just so athletic. They can make a lot of moves and make up for a lack of ball control.
And on the Zionsville side, we have second-year head coach Ty Beeler tonight, and they have a commitment of their own in JT Norris. And they're 5-1 as well. Right now, Max Preps has them ranked. It is also very, very early in the season. But 5-1, having played quite a few of the same people that Roncalli is going to play this season. They beat Southport 2-1. They beat Noblesville 2-1. And Roncalli has also beat Noblesville. And we'll play Southport later in the season. So this is a really good mark at the early on in the season against 2 high-ranking teams in the state.
Roncalli isn't currently ranked just because they haven't played enough matches yet, but we expect them to be at the top of the list. You want to talk about keys to the game? Nick Jennings was just talking about it, needing to establish the middles early in this game, which goes along with that serve and pass game. I think Zionsville has a freshman libero who may be a little inexperienced, so will they be able to challenge him?
Absolutely. And we will come right back after announcements, prayer, and national anthem, and we'll get you guys the starting lineups for both teams.
When looking for reliable HVAC professionals, look no further than Anne and Bartram Heating and Cooling. Whether you need a routine maintenance check or an emergency repair on a heating or cooling unit, Anne and Bartram are available to handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. Anne and Bartram strive to be the best, so call them today at 317-889-9574. They even have 24/7 emergency service. Call them today, Anne and Bartram, 317-889-9574.
Looking to make your brand stand out? Turn to Business Art Designs, celebrating over 35 years in the sign industry since 1990. As the official sign supplier of the Indianapolis Indians, they bring unmatched expertise to every project. From eye-catching temporary signage for any event, to durable, permanent signs that leave a lasting impression. Visit them on Main Street in the heart of downtown Beech Grove. Business Art Designs, proud supporter of Roncalli Athletics.
Discover the Coin Index in Greenwood. Have you inherited a coin collection you aren't sure what to do with? Are you interested in investing in precious metals? Then the Coin Index is your ultimate destination for coins and precious metals. We buy, sell, and appraise. Located at 857 North Madison Avenue, just south of the Greenwood Park Mall. For expert service and top-notch selection, visit us at coinindex.com. The Coin Index, your trusted partner in coins and precious metals.
Gallagher's Pub and Eatery, your go-to spot before, after, and during all Roncalli events. As a family-owned and operated establishment, we take pride in offering a warm, friendly atmosphere where you can savor delicious pizza, fresh salads, mouth-watering wings, and a wide selection of ice-cold beverages. With 25 smart TVs around the venue, you'll catch every moment of the action and never miss a sporting event. Whether you're gearing up for the big game or celebrating a win, Gallagher's is the place to be.
Building your vision from concept to creation. At Gemco Constructors, we're your one-stop partner in commercial construction, from mechanical, electrical, and plumbing systems to building automation and post-project service. We deliver projects on time, on budget, and built to last. Innovation, safety, and service. Proud supporter of the Roncalli Royals. Visit wearegemco.com today. Gemco, building your vision. Concept to creation.
Welcome back to that Roncalli Ascension St. Vincent Gymnasium for, as we stated, Roncalli versus Zionsville tonight. Our game time weather, brought to you by Whitetail Properties, is about, I don't know, what would you say it is in here, 75 and very dry inside of the gymnasium.
Sunny outside.
Sunny outside, much nicer outside, but here we are. Whitetail Properties, turn your real estate dreams into reality. You can count on Roncalli alums Bill and Jay Miner for your real estate dreams. Whether it's hunting, farming, lakeside, or just a home nestled on acreage, call today or visit whitetailproperties.com. And Coach Bell is going to give us the starting lineup for the Roncalli Royals tonight.
Starting lineup for Roncalli is number 1, A.J. Morris. You will be setting and hitting right side. Number 3, Jack Hovanek at middle blocker. Number 4, Maddox Butler at middle blocker. Number 10 is Xavier Lowry. He's an outside hitter. Libero will be Noah Meyer, number 12, and number 18, Charlie Spearing, who's an outside hitter, and Brennan Purley, number 19 at setter.
And for the Zionsville Eagles, their starters are number 8, Stephen Ong, their setter, number 11, Merrick Mitchell, who's an outside DS, 6'2", and a sophomore, so that's one to develop further. Number 25, Jack Miller, is a senior outside. Number 26, JT Norris, is a senior right side. We have number 27, Dylan Pano, who is a middle, and number 30, Chris Hart, who is a middle for the Eagles. Our first lineup tonight is brought to you by Lowry and Dunbar CPA. A tax deadline is just a week away, and if you are scrambling to take care of your taxes, give Lowry and Dunbar CPA a call or online at ld-cpas.com. All right, and let's get started with some volleyball.
Yeah. I think key players to watch on the Zionsville side would be Jack Miller. He leads them in number of attempts and kills, as well as JT Norris. As we mentioned, he's committed to Wittenberg. He's their opposite. And then their setter, number 8, Stephen Ung. On the Roncalli side, we have 2 strong outsides in Charlie Spearing and Xavier Lowry, and see if we can establish those strong middle blockers as well. The nice thing with them is they run a 6-2, which is where the setter is always in the back row and allows you to have 3 attackers at all times, which allows for a very strong offense.
And this is a new setting scheme for the Royals, because they had one of their key losses last year was Matthew Dial, who was technically a 3-year starter, but I know I saw him get some significant reps as a freshman as well, with Aiden Hill and Elijah Berger, but all 3 were all region in the nation.
Yeah.
So not only are they, I wouldn't even say this is a rebuild, this is a reload. This is a school that just always has more players stacked on the bench or even walking the hallways coming back into the program.
That's right. I mean, even with those losses, they have lots of great returners with great experience, including A.J. Morris, Xavier Lowry, Jack Hovanek, Maddox Butler, and Charlie Spearing, all with varsity experience. All right, we're about underway with our first serve.
All right, first serve coming from setter Stephen Ong for the Eagles. Goes right at Spearing, and Lowry starts off with a line shot to that 1-6 seam.
It's a great set by A.J. Morris, and now Brennan Purley will be back to serve. That moves A.J. Morris to the front row to hit opposite, and you have Maddox Butler in the middle. On the Zionsville side, they're starting in rotation 1. That's Jack Miller that just hit that ball. He's the one that has the most attempts on that team and took a nice hard swing at that ball. Free ball, see if the Royals can take advantage of that.
AJ with a good recycle shot. And
great hands by the libero there on the Royal side. Good dig by that freshman libero from Zionsville.
Long rally to get started.
Yeah.
And Jack Miller able to close it out for the Eagles down the line.
That was a great shot. he's back to serve now. Jack Miller is. And we'll see if the Royals can get a good pass to start this rally off. One of the challenging things is always rotation 1 for people. That's when the setter's in right back. They stack, and Morris hits the 2 ball out of the middle.
Now, one of the keys you said at the start of the game was going to be see how Zionsville's libero keeps up. And in these first 2 pretty long rallies to start, he's doing just fine.
He's holding his own. That was a great block by Norris on the right side there. Need to do a little bit better job of covering on our Royal side. And Jack Miller's back to serve again. He's topping.
Looked like Laurie was attempting for a little side swipe shot there. Just barely missed it on the hands.
That's a touch off the block. Great high swing by Lowry there. And looks like Lowry's going to go back to serve now.
When you have a young defense in Zionsville, what are some of the good shots from a pin hitter for Roncalli that you would want them to use or start off early in the game?
Well, I think you want to challenge that libero just to see how solid he is. So working that 4-to-4 shot, which means you're hitting that sharp cross. But I also think, you know, one thing that a lot of hitters don't think about is just thinking as the block is their friend and using hands and hitting high balls and working that outside hand of the block. That's
always one of my favorite things to teach really young is the term tool.
Yeah.
You're using the block as a tool to your benefit, which is why it's a tool. So swipe that ball out of bounds, hit it really, really high but barely graze a fingertip because it might look ugly, but it's still a point for you.
Right. And the higher level volleyball that you play, you need to have that in your toolbox.
Mm-hmm.
That ball was served out by Xavier Lowry, and now Jackson Campen's back to serve. He's the freshman libero. Got a nice float there. Good pass on the Royal side. Good middle shot by Maddox Butler. Looks like Jack Hovanek's coming in the middle now as they rotate out.
We're going to see a couple of different types of serves tonight. We've seen Roncalli have 2 top spinners in a row, now a couple of different floats. What are the different benefits between the types of serves?
Yeah, float is nice because typically you have a better location on where you want to put the ball. Oh, that's a great stuff block there on A.J. Morris by Zionsville.
By Merrick Mitchell there, really getting his outside hand turned back in, and there was no chance of tooling that block.
No. Again, Roncalli needs to be more disciplined on covering that ball. Top spin is really challenging if it has quite pace on it, quite a lot of pace on it, as well as if it can drop or you have quite an angle. There's another stuff block. That was by the setter.
Stephen Ong there.
Stephen Ong.
And you know what? We got to give credit to the middle, Dylan Payno, also, because he's closed both of these blocks very effectively.
Exactly. If he leaves the seam, that hitter has the option to hit that. There's that middle attack by Hovanek. Yeah, ball's just tipped out there. All right, looks like Nolan Hall is in for Brennan Purley. Hit opposite. And A.J. Morris is back to serve. A.J. with the float serve. That's quite a challenging serve there. So the float is hard because it's very much like a knuckleball, so it can really move on you and you can have really good location, meaning you can put it exactly where you want it. Zionsville with the miss. That was Merrick Mitchell. He just missed long, but it was a great aggressive swing. He's only a sophomore.
Sophomore with a few huge blocks and a few huge swings down the line so far.
Absolutely. A.J. Morris with another challenging float serve to that freshman libero. So they get a free ball. Royals get a free ball. Can they take advantage of that? Easy ball, but they did take the setter out. So they had strategy there to take the setter out. Once again.
Yeah. Once again, another big block there from Dylan Payno. And this was not a key that we saw in the beginning, but
not at all.
Zionsville's block causing a lot of issues here to start.
Absolutely.
One of the keys Nick said at the beginning was their ball control, and I don't necessarily think that's been an issue, but they've been very readable so far. Maybe a little bit more dynamic offense, and there you saw they pulled Charlie Spearing over to the right side for that first ball instead of stacking the hitters.
Yep. And they split the block that way. When you pull that outside hitter over, you put your libero in the middle of the court, allowing your better passer in the middle, but it makes the block work harder. And if you stack, then the block knows exactly where that ball is going. So you gotta, if you have a good blocking team, you've got to make them work harder. That serve was in the net, and now Zionsville's back to serve. This is Anderson Vestal, one of the middle blockers serving. Also misserved, going over to the Roncalli side.
One of the 7 don'ts of missed serves. You can't miss a serve after someone else does.
That, and don't miss short. If you're going to miss long, because you always give them a chance to play the ball. Oh, third missed serve in a row.
I don't really know that we have 7 don'ts for the third miss. Just get the ball in at this point.
Exactly.
All right, back to serve again for Zionsville.
Sometimes can be contagious, though. When you know, missing serves, you see a lot in a row sometimes. Kind of brings me back to the girls' Cathedral game when we missed 20.
I had 20. Serves. I had 26 written down. I know you were keeping stats that game in the fall.
That was a great middle swing by Maddox Butler there. Again, I think they feel like their middle attack is going to be effective against them, and that's definitely showing here. All right, so Zionsville's back in rotation 1 again. They're stacked left. We'll see if Roncalli can take advantage of that.
And Adrian Morris just didn't quite get pressed over there.
Yes, he was high but not pressed over, and Jack Miller took advantage of that and got the kill with the tool. Miller's back to serve. He topped last time. Let's see if he did a top. Yep, he's going to top spin this time. That's a great serve. That's an ace.
And that's one of the benefits of the top spin serve is if you have speed and you're effective with it, it can be really tough to just control on your side. Not necessarily to get behind. It's just like a down ball. It's just like a swing that anybody else has, but it's coming way faster.
It is. It's that serve's got a lot of pace on it.
Great cover.
Another great cover, great block again. Great dig by Miller. Ball just went through his hands. Probably a sweaty ball there. I think Zionsville's block is catching the Royals off hand here. They were not ready for that. That's a top spin, but not a lot of pace on that serve. Need to have more of aggressive serve there by Xavier Lowry. It's a great tool
and
by
great use by Spearing.
Yeah, by Spearing. Great high swing, especially since that's block has been getting them. It's nice to see him go aggressively at their hands.
And it all comes down to the location of the set, too. Pearlie really pushed him out to the pin there, giving him a lot of options. And Maddox Butler missed the setter there.
Yes.
We have 3, truthfully, really good setters that we're watching right now when it comes to the men's game in Indiana. That
was a great swing by JT Norris on the right side. He only had 1 blocker and took advantage of that, that's for sure.
Gonna bring that freshman libero back to serve. Goes right out, Lowry.
A.J. Morris with a hit into the block. Number 11 with the block, and that's Merrick Mitchell again, the sophomore from Zionsville.
Very impressed with his start to set 1.
I agree.
Seen quite a few shots, and he's honestly got A.J. Morris's number right now.
Absolutely.
But a lot of experience in number 1 for the Royals, and I expect him to come back.
Exactly. Back row attack by Xavier Lowry, just missed, and now it's 13-11 Zionsville. Royals just need to settle in here and do what they know how to do. Great serve by freshman libero Jackson Campen as well. He's challenging them.
And another great swing from the middle.
Yeah, Maddox is hitting very well. He's scoring almost every time he gets the ball. So I think Nick Jennings was right on target when he said we need to establish the middles.
When you get effective middles going, it gets really difficult for the other team's middles to effectively block all 3 hitters because they have to stay just that extra second.
It's nearly impossible. It's nearly impossible because it holds the middle blocker and there's almost always a seam. That was a great serve by Noah Meyer. I expect them to go after that libero again. Oh, nice serve. Overpass and middle set to Havana. Zionsville back with its own middle attack. And just too quick from the Royals.
There was a slight difference in what middle attack was just run. Havana here running a 3 compared to Maddox Butler. We've seen a lot right in front of the setter.
Yes.
What are the benefits to running them on 2 different things?
Well, the one ball brings the hitter right into the block. It actually makes the job easier for the blockers, whereas the 3 tends to hit we call it a gap. So it's between the middle and the right side blocker. And so you can have a little bit more seams, but it is more challenging to have a connection with your setter with that. Ooh, good pass, good swing. Out of the middle, and I believe that was a 3 on the Zionsville side.
There it was.
So there's that gap set. Number 7 from Zionsville's end to serve, that's Sebastian Carbajal. He is a senior DS libero. Lefty, southpaw. Great pass.
And Hominick does his own.
Right back at him. They mirrored each other in the middle attack.
There is always a lot of play on, I think, setter versus setter as you start going into a game. If one team's middle does something really well, the other team's going to try to run their middle. If we watch a setter get a dump, I bet the other setter goes to dump.
Absolutely. Oh, that's a great serve by A.J. Morris, but also a great save. They almost had the ace, and they somehow, Zionsville got it back over. Out of system set to Noah Hall, and Zionsville's in the net.
Mitchell just got a little bit too excited. It was a very, very tight out-of-system ball. Probably looked like my mom always said, like a piece of candy up above the net.
Exactly. Eyeballs got too big. It's 17-14 Royals. They've pulled ahead here. A.J. Morris with a good serve, but Jackson Campen passed it like a dime. Great swing by Charlie Spearing on the outside. Had a little bit of gap there because we have been setting the middle, and that held that middle blocker.
Morris still back on the service line here. Got about 4 in a row right now.
18-14 Royals. Another good serve, but great pass by the libero, Jackson Campen.
And couldn't quite make it inside that antenna. Set a little bit too far out.
Exactly. Merrick Mitchell just hits that antenna. Not a great set, but had a difficult time controlling that ball.
Zionsville's going to take their first time out here, and we're going to talk about the Marion University. Become a Knight at marion.edu. Just 10 minutes from downtown Indianapolis, Marion University is a premier Catholic university committed to excellence in learning, excelling in teaching, research, and scholarly activities. Visit marion.edu.com. And brought to you by our Marion University scoreboard, where on this first time out, the score is 19-14.
A confident smile can change everything, and at Gorman and Bunch Orthodontics, they make that transformation fun, affordable, and easy. Whether it's braces or Invisalign, their expert team helps kids, teens, and adults feel proud of their smile every step of the way. With their convenient South Side location, Dr. Todd Hickman and his team have served our community for over 40 years. Gorman and Bunch Orthodontics, transforming smiles, transforming lives. Proud supporter of Roncalli and Roncalli Athletics.
Are we back on? And we're back at the Roncalli Ascension St. Vincent Gymnasium, where the Royals are now up 20-14 in set 1.
A.J. Morris just had a great serve, and Zionsville attacked and hit that ball out of bounds. So see if they can hold Morris's serve here. He's had a great run here at the inline. Great float serve he has, really challenging Zionsville's passing game. Kind of a roll shot by Zionsville, by Mitchell. Spearing hits a great ball. They're going to get an easy ball back, but it's a waffle hit, and it scores.
A waffle hit? I don't know that I've heard that term.
No, waffle, yeah. It's kind of that mishit.
Okay.
And it just kind of landed in the middle of the court. He did what he could with that set. He seems kind of
See, I
frustrated
feel like
with
I've heard
himself.
of a waffle dig because you have a pancake dig on the ground and a
Oh.
waffle dig flat
Well,
hand.
Oh, we call that a scoop.
Oh, well,
I don't know.
I don't know. All kinds of things.
You can make it up, whatever you want
I
to
mean,
call
you got
it.
a campfire, a donut. Those are the
That's
same
true.
thing.
That's true.
Whatever you feel like eating
Great
today.
pass, great set, and there's that three, that gap set between the block. I think they've moved to that, and that seems to be really working for the Royals.
We're definitely seeing the Royals get a lot more momentum as we end set one here.
Gavin Luthane is in to serve for Charlie Spearing. He's a senior DS. Great float serve. Good pass by Zionsville. Can they establish? Yeah, great dig by A.J. Morris. And just out by Nolan Hall.
And Spearing right back in the back row. It's going to bring Pano back to serve for the Eagles.
He's their middle, so they have no libero on the court right now. And he serves it deep. Trying that top spin, just kind of mishit it. And now the Royals will have their middle blocker hit, or serve. That's Havanek, and no libero on the court for them. Good pass by Zionsville, and they're going to feed the outside hitter that gets the job done, and that's Jack Miller with the kill.
And a great 4-to-4 shot there. Call that also a cut shot, thumb down. There's, again, a lot of names for lots of things.
Yeah.
But really tough to dig between what would be the libero and the outside because of the angle that's coming up.
Absolutely. Stephen Ung is serving for Zionsville. He's their setter. Just a kind of a poor set to the outside the antenna. Lowry tries to go up with his left hand, just can't get it back in play. Serving again by Ung. And they go right back at Lowry, who hits that nice sharp cross.
And again, that middle causing a solo block for Lowry because that middle jumped with the Royals middle. So
Yes, that's the benefit of establishing that middle early, like we were talking about. That holds that block just even for a small amount of time and gives that pin hitter the seam. Good pass for Zionsville, coming in for the 2-ball. And again, we're not pressed on that block. We're high, but we got to press over.
And see, that's a dynamic offense that I love to see. A couple different cross patterns, especially when your ball control, which for both of these teams has looked pretty good
Very
so
good.
far. That why not run a few crossing patterns and confuse your blockers just a little bit more?
Oh, top spin. Served by Jack Miller with the ace. And that serve actually kind of had a little curve to it, and I find that a lot of top spins that do, those are very challenging to pass because they drop pretty quickly. He's doing a great job. Purley with a great set. Oh, and then they press there and get the good block on Zionsville. That was A.J. Morris and Maddox Butler with the block there.
Zionsville takes their second timeout at 24:20. And we'll be right back in 45 seconds.
Harding Porman is a full-service printing and brand communications company. From creative services and strategy to print, signage, digital output, warehousing and fulfillment, mailing, e-commerce storefronts, and even mobile solutions. They are dedicating to helping their clients get the most out of their brand communication efforts with the quality they can see and results they can be sure of. Get the most out of your brand communications. Certified to be the best, Harding Porman.
When you need the job done right, trust Indiana Electrical Services, your IBEW 481 union contractor. Proud sponsor of Roncalli Athletics, we're here to handle all your electrical needs, big or small. Jeff Russell, class of '99, and David Moran, class of '94, are proud to serve the community they love. And of course, we're cheering on the Royals every step of the way. Indiana Electrical Services, powering your home, your business, and your school spirit.
24-20 Royals for Roncalli versus Zionsville.
Yep, Xavier Lowry is back to serve. He's been doing a hybrid type serve, which is a mix between a float and a top spin, and he just nails that corner for an ace to finish the first set.
There you go. Set one goes to the Royals for score 5-20. We're going to take a 2-minute break, and we will be right back on the Roncalli Media Network.
Score big for Roncalli every time you swipe with Indiana Members Credit Union. When you use your IMCU Royals debit card for everyday purchases, you're helping fund Roncalli High School athletics with every signature-based transaction. Get your Roncalli Royals debit card free with your free IMCU checking account. Stop by your Southside branch at 5047 Madison Avenue or any IMCU branch near you, or sign up online at imcu.com. Swipe, support, repeat. Go Royals!
When it comes to physical therapy, you have the freedom to choose your provider. At Indiana Physical Therapy, our experienced therapists will work with you to create a personalized treatment plan tailored to your needs. Whether you're recovering from injury, managing a chronic condition, or looking to improve your sports performance, we've got you covered.
Whether you're heading out of town or just need trusted care for your pets, look no further than the Kennel at Arbor Lane. With spacious indoor and outdoor accommodations, a caring staff, and a commitment to treating every dog like family, the Kennel at Arbor Lane is where pets feel right at home. From short stays to extended boarding, your four-legged friends will be safe, happy, and loved. Give yourself peace of mind and your pets the care they deserve. The Kennel at Arbor Lane, a proud supporter of Roncalli Athletics. Visit thekennelatarborlane.com to learn more.
At Kids Abilities, we believe in one simple truth: no limits, only possibilities. Our dedicated team offers pediatric occupational, speech, and feeding therapy focused on sensory regulation, building intrinsic motivation, and making meaningful connections for children from birth to 21. We go beyond therapy. We support families, celebrate achievements, and unlock each child's fullest potential. Kids Abilities, where possibilities become realities. Visit kidsabilitiesindiana.com.
When it comes to physical therapy, you have the freedom to choose your provider. At Indiana Physical Therapy, our experienced therapists will work with you to create a personalized treatment plan tailored to your needs. Whether you're recovering from injury, managing a chronic condition, or looking to improve your sports performance, we've got you covered. Take control of your health and schedule your appointment today at indianapt.com or call us at 317-449-2333.
Providing comfort for families in their time of need is the main concern of the staff at Lauk Veldoff Funeral Home. We are a small family-owned firm and take great pride in the personal service we offer and the family-like atmosphere at our facility. At Lauk Veldoff, we only serve one family at a time, providing compassionate care and affordable options, truly part of your community. Lauk and Veldoff Funeral and Cremation Services. Call 317-636-6655.
All right, and welcome back to set 2 in the Roncalli St. Vincent Gymnasium. Your lineups for set 2 are brought to you by Indiana Electrical Services, handling all your electrical needs, big or small. Roncalli alums Jeff Russell and David Moran are proud to serve you. Indiana Electrical Services, powering your home, your business, and your school spirit.
Starting lineup for Roncalli for the second set is Brennan Purley, Jack Havanek, Charlie Spearing, Maddox Butler, and A.J. Morris, as well as Xavier Lowry, and Noah Myers remains at libero. So same lineup as they started with the first set.
And for the Eagles, we still have Jackson Campins, the freshman, in at libero. We have Merrick Mitchell in the back row, Stephen Ong, the setter, in the front row, number 30, Chris Hart, in the middle, number 25, Jack Miller on the outside, and number 26, JT Norris, hidden in serve receive right now, which is actually pretty common for a right side. So.
Yeah, they did not do that the first set, so I wonder if they're trying to get some more offense out of a back row attack. Great serve by Brennan.
And great call.
Right there.
It's almost like you know what you're looking at.
Right. He hits that CD ball, but great dig by the Royals and establish that middle in transition, and almost automatically you're going to get a kill if you can hit your middle in transition. Great job by Brennan Purley there. Another serve by Brennan. Good pass. Great block by the Royals. That's Maddox Butler and A.J. Morris again. They pressed over that time. Straight down.
Something tells me that was one of Coach Jennings' keys in between sets. They had quite a few where they were up, but not quite pressed over the net in set 1.
Their block was not very disciplined in the first set, so I think he probably had a little conversation with them. Lowry with a great swing, deep corner that almost always scores.
That is so hard to defend, because if you watch any sort of defensive scheme in volleyball, you don't have anybody in that deep corner. That's always going to be between two players crossed crossing and it's going to be high, that's just tough for anybody to get to.
Yep. And when your libero is small, like the Jackson Campen is, it's very difficult to even take that with your hands. If you have a longer libero, they might have a chance. That's a great swing by A.J. Morris going high off those hands. He'd gotten stuffed, so that's pretty gutsy because he'd been stuff blocked a few times, but he hit high enough and it rebounded off that block and out of bounds.
What kind of adjustment do you make on that? I mean, I think I know what it is, but for the viewers at home, what kind of adjustment do you think you made?
For A.J.?
Yeah.
Swinging just higher, contacting the ball, not letting it come down, or even the angle of his hand, and you can actually swing up. So sometimes you'll see players hit the ball way out of bounds, and it's because they're going for high hands, but they just miss. Ace by Brennan Purley. Zionsville struggling with that serve and pass game, and Royals go up 6-0.
Zionsville goes ahead and takes their first timeout, and we will be back in 30 seconds for set 2.
When it comes to coin laundry, Laundry and Tan Connection stands out as Indiana and Kentucky's biggest and best. With cleaner, more spacious and user-friendly facilities, they lead the way in laundry services. But that's not all. They're also the area's premier tanning salon, offering top-notch tanning facilities at competitive prices and the best hours around. Discover why Laundry and Tan Connection is the top choice for both laundry and tanning by visiting laundryandtan.com today.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
St. Vincent Gymnasium at Roncalli High School. We're on that Marian University scoreboard. The Royals are up 6-0 in set 2, which is a big difference than what we saw in set 1.
Absolutely. But Zionsville responds. Great pass, great set, great swing by Jack Miller on the outside going down line. Ung is back to serve for Zionsville. Pass by Lowry. And back row attack by Charlie Spearing is successful. Kill by Spearing there.
That's one of the first times we've seen a back row attack from the Royals, and goes back to that dynamic offense. If you get just another hitter, they always have 3. That adds a 4th.
Absolutely. And if they are cheating on the block, he might even have an open net. Great serve by Lowry there. Not a great set on Zionsville's side. Miller just hits that ball wide. It's 8-1 Royals. Like I was saying, Lowry likes to serve a hybrid serve, which is a mix between a float and a topspin. So it can be pretty challenging. Oh, that's a true topspin.
That's a full topspin.
Yes.
And props to Mitchell for getting under that one. And once again, another 4-4.
Wow, that's a great shot. He was down passing that ball, got up and hit a 4-4 on that swing. That's a great swing by Miller. See if Roncalli can respond. He had a few aces last time. He's got a great topspin serve. Great pass by Noah.
A great swing by Butler. That also comes from Purley jumping high to get that ball there. Middle jumping with the setter, but I've seen a lot of athletic plays from Purley as well.
Absolutely. Butler is just working really hard to be in and available every play, whether he gets set or not. Great serve by the libero, Noah Meyer, deep corner. Sets off the net, and our block takes advantage there, stuff block.
This is kind of what we expected. Set 1 was Royals up 10-2 right now. We're seeing a lot of Nick's keys to the games, like we said a couple times, with the middles and ball control. I never thought ball control was the issue, but they seem to have a lot more energy right now. Oh, Lordy.
That was a...
And we may have some broken glasses. 30
yes,
looks to be okay
definitely.
here.
I don't recommend wearing glasses while you play volleyball for that reason. That was a great serve by the libero and overpass, and A.J. Morris just absolutely annihilated the ball. And number 30, Chris Hart, unfortunately took one to the face. I hope he's okay. His glasses came off, and he seems to be fine.
And no broken glass. Those are some impressive glasses. Let's get a sponsor for these glasses.
Absolutely. All right, back to serve is Noah Meyer. Also, there's a what we call a two-pass.
Great dig.
Great dig by our setter, Brendan Purley there. Just
and
wide.
Just out of bounds. Give the defense a point there.
Absolutely. I love it when setters play defense. That was a
Happens
great dig.
Rarely.
Hey, now.
Not this fall. Not this fall.
I was a defensive setter, I'd like to say, in my day.
Fair enough. And our DS to setter transition this fall played lots of defense.
Absolutely.
Oh
gosh.
Oh, almost.
What I was saying before, two pass. So in volleyball, there's what kind of ratings for passing. A perfect pass we call, also known as a dime, as a three pass. That means that the setter has all three options. If the ball is slightly off the net and they can't use the middle, but still can set either pin, that's called a two pass. If it's not a good pass, but you still can at least get the ball back over the net, that's a one pass. So obviously we always like twos and threes, but the goal as a server is to get that other team what we call out of system, not a good pass. So there's kind of a one pass there. Great hit off the block by Norris, and great save by Noah Meyer. And that's going to be that's going to be 4 contacts by the Royals there. I think you just missed it.
And see, one of the fun things during volleyball is how important in-game statistics can be. When I managed for the boys volleyball team way back in about a decade ago, my job was to rank all the serves and passes.
Yes.
And I would tell the head coach at the time, Coach K, if you're listening, shout out, who was passing well and how much tougher our serving needed to be based on our passing rating.
Absolutely. Out of system, they're trying to take our setters out from the Roncalli Royals and make us out of system so we can't use our middles, and that seems to be working. Another good block by Zionsville.
One of my favorite conversations to have with people who know volleyball, and I think is interesting for people who don't to listen to, as someone who has coached both boys and girls, what are the major differences in those? They're two completely different sports.
Absolutely. Well, men's volleyball in general is just more about power and athleticism. And girls volleyball does, while they do have some power and obviously athleticism, it's more about ball control and the pass and serve game. Men can obviously jump much higher. And so a lot of men's teams use that back row attack option quite often because it's almost like having a front row player, because when they jump, they land at the 2-foot line.
Mm-hmm.
There's very few women that can do that. Also, the topspin serve is much more popular in the men's game because of the power that they can generate and pace. And so those are the big differences. Obviously, the net height is also different. So men's net height is 8 foot, whereas women's is 7'4" and a quarter. I don't know, anything else?
That quarter is important. I will also say, although we're not seeing it a lot tonight, in general, I feel like the men's game uses their hands to pass a lot more than the women. The women will almost always be trying to use their platform. Maybe you use your hands on a free ball. Again, we're not seeing it a ton tonight. Not a great example, except right there.
Right there, yeah.
But men, like with them having stronger arms, just inherently, they're able to control that ball a lot easier with their hands, and you'll see them doing it on really tough serves.
Absolutely.
That women don't do.
I've coached both boys and girls. I've coached Ashley. I was just here tonight watching the JV game, and I've coached almost every player on that team, and trying to get those boys to use their platform was quite the challenge most of the time because they want to use their hands, which isn't always a bad thing, but, you have to be able to use your platform as well.
Yep.
Another great middle attack there. A.J. Morris is doing a great job feeding that middle. But, yeah, I would say those are the big differences for sure. Looks like they're in rotation 5 in Zionsville. So rotations, we can talk about that for people who don't know volleyball. So it's kind of actually changed a little bit. But old school people like me, we consider rotation 1 when the setter is in right back. And then in volleyball, you actually rotate counterclockwise, not clockwise. And you have to rotate all the way around. A lot of people don't even know that. And so rotation 1 is when the setter's in the very right back corner, and then all the way around.
All right, Zionsville taking their second timeout. We will be back in 30 seconds.
Since 1988, McGee & Company Fine Jewelers has been Greenwood's trusted, family-owned jeweler, helping you celebrate life's most memorable moments. From bridal sales and insurance appraisals to custom designs and expert repairs, we're a full-service jewelry store. And if you don't see exactly what you're dreaming of, our award-winning designers will create it just for you. McGee & Company Fine Jewelers, built on service, dedicated to quality. Visit us at 880 U.S. Highway 31 North in Greenwood, just across from the Greenwood Park Mall, or online at mcgeejewelers.com.
And welcome back to set 2, where the score on the Marian University scoreboard is 17-8. And we were just having a really fun discussion about rotations, but we're seeing a lot more energy, a lot more ball control, a little bit higher level volleyball on the Royals side this set.
Absolutely. I think they've picked up their serve and pass game and definitely become much more disciplined on their block. So that's made a big difference. Right now, though, they don't have the libero in. Their middle blockers serving. And so
we're going to give the middle blockers a shout out to the play right before the timeout, because you don't normally see a middle blocker with such a great out-of-system set as he had.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But every middle loves to think they're a setter.
That's a great block again on that outside. That is Nolan Hall and Maddox Butler straight down. I feel like the blocks have reversed in this game. The Zionsville block was really strong in set 1, and the Royals have really picked it up in set 2. Great option by Maddox Butler there on the second contact just to send the ball over. Good out-of-system set by that
Look
middle.
At him go!
Go middle blocker. So, love that middle, Jack Havanek used his hands, set the right side. Nice tool off the block by Nolan Hall. He can do it all. Who says he's a middle blocker? Ace, and then an ace serve.
That comes down to the rule change that happened about 2 years ago, where doubles can no longer be called, because I can almost guarantee you, before that rule change, the second a middle even tries to touch the ball, that's a double. It doesn't matter if it's spinning or not.
Yes.
And now you just get to see the athleticism from all kinds of players.
Absolutely. And, it's really nice because it does allow kids to become more comfortable using their hands. They will call the double if the ball would go over the net.
Yes.
And it is a double contact. But if it stays on your side, then you can still have that attack. And it's nice to allow players to
great cover.
Great cover and dig there.
Go again.
That was a great 2-ball run out of the middle. Great dig by Zionsville. And then just a 2-hand tip over the block by Xavier Lowry for the kill.
As a formerly trained setter, how do you feel about that new double rule?
Well, at first it kind of bothered me, but one of my good friends who's also a setter in college said, Jessica, it doesn't benefit somebody to double. And so if you have a setter that's constantly doubling, their location or their ability to put the set where you want it isn't going to be good. And so it allows setters to make more athletic plays with their hands, and it allows other players, like we were talking about, middles and other players, to use their hands. And I think it's really good for the development, especially in that club volleyball and junior setting, to allow kids to be comfortable to take that second ball.
Do you think there's a world where, in most sports, as you go up, rules change or get a little bit more difficult? Is there a world where eventually the double comes back in college, but maybe all the way training it's not there?
Yeah, I don't think so, because I think the other problem with the double call is it was so subjective. You'd have one referee that was very strict and other referees that are not. And so I think that was the big bone of contention. Well, we have a sub here. We have Denzer Owen coming in. Number 17 to serve for Xavier Lowry. Good serve. He's playing right back defense. And Jack Miller takes advantage of that. It's 22-11 Royals. And Jack Miller's back to serve. He's got that whip of a topspin serve.
And Owen Denzer going to stay in, see if he can handle that topspin.
He was hitting that corner before. We'll see. Yes, great absorption of that tough serve with pace on it.
And a great shot by Charlie Spearing, right in front of the libero.
He just kind of took something off of that a little bit because he was off the net and just put it right in front of him. Another sub. Number 24, Ben Pierce is coming in for Charlie Spearing, and then our libero is back to serve, Noah Meyer. Another 2 pass there. He can use his pin, and he goes to Norris. Excellent choice from the right side, and a great swing. Jackson Campen's back to serve, the libero for Zionsville. It's 23-12, Royals. And AJ Morris stays in to set. And that's an ace by Zionsville. That was a short serve.
Great short serve. And looking at what Coach Jennings is going to say, I was like, typically something that short, you might have a front row player go ahead and play that. So it looks like we're setting that up for the next ball.
Absolutely. Great play by AJ Morris. It was a tie pass, and he goes up and jousts and win, but Zionsville gets the point on a trickle over the net. Coach Jennings, I think, is trying to get some kids some experience in this back row while they have a comfortable lead and see what they can do. Pass by Luthane. And Pierce with the swing, and A.J. Morris finishes with the overpass.
You also want to give your setter a chance to show off what he can do in the front row.
Well, A.J. Morris is a great setter, but he's also a great hitter. So it's nice to have players that, Roncalli's blessed. They have a lot of players who can do a lot of things well. It's 24-14, set point, and set 2 here. It's going to top. Good top spin. Zionsville's kind of out of system. They take the setter out again. Out of system. See if Luthane can take care of it. Just deep.
All right, still in the red zone, still set point.
Yep, Nolan Hall comes back in.
JT Norris back to serve for the Eagles.
I think he's going to top as well. It's a good serve. Handled well by the libero, Noah Meyer. Good swing on the right side there. Oh, yes. Ooh. So that's always a very subjective call in my opinion. So A.J. Morris went up to set the ball. He's back row. The referee assumes that the ball's in the plane, so he calls A.J. over. He's not allowed to be in the plane of the net.
I find setters tend to get that call a lot more if they go up with 2 hands.
I agree.
But that will end set 2 for us. Set 2, 25-16 goes to the Royals. And we will be back on the Roncalli Media Network in about 3 minutes.
Family owned and operated since 1971, O'Reilly Branson Funeral Service and Crematory has been dedicated to serving families with the utmost dignity and compassion. The staff at O'Reilly Branson are experts in pre-planning, cremation, and at-need funeral arrangements, and have a long history of supporting your Roncalli Royals. Your wishes are honored to the finest detail, allowing you to celebrate the life and cherished memories of your loved ones. For more information, visit O'ReillyBranson.com. O'Reilly Branson, where our Catholic family serves your Catholic family.
No one cares about your home as much as you do. You deserve to be comfortable and know you're receiving expert care. That's why Peterman is dedicated to service with significance. We provide continuous support and training to our field professionals, helping them be experts in their fields. We listen to you to give you the best possible service so you can feel confident in your home. Next time you need heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical service, let Peterman handle it.
Since 1970, Piazza Produce has grown from a single truck operation into a trusted, family-owned produce partner, bringing exceptional quality and unmatched service to the food service industry. We deliver the ingredients chefs count on. With refrigerated GPS-tracked trucks covering more than 150 cities across the Midwest, Piazza Produce ensures your kitchen never runs out because service is everything. Piazza Produce, fresh from our family to yours. Visit piazzaproduce.com.
Did you know 80% of Americans don't floss daily, risking gum disease, bad breath, and even tooth loss? At Skip Cheeseman DDS, we believe your dental health is worth protecting, from routine cleanings and wisdom tooth removal to implants and IV sedation. Dr. Cheeseman and his caring team combine experience with comfort, so you can smile with confidence. Call 317-839-2088 or visit Cheeseman.com today. Skip Cheeseman DDS, caring for smiles, caring for you, and a proud supporter of the Roncalli Royals.
At VisionQuest Eye Care, we want to see what you see. For more than 25 years, we've offered eye exams for the whole family and care for a range of eye diseases and conditions. Pick out your glasses and sunglasses in our stunning new optical shop staffed with friendly faces. Visit us at our Greenwood and Fishers offices and schedule your visit at visionquesteyecare.com. That's visionquesteyecare.com. We want to see what you see.
Are you looking for a company that cares about meeting your financial needs? Werner Financial is the place for you. Our owner, Jason Werner, is a proud Roncalli member of the class of 2005 and has extensive knowledge and experience ensuring your investments are customized to fit your goals. The Werner Financial team is one that works for you and will handle your assets with precision and confidence. Our goal is for you to not only feel secure in your finances, but also to see real growth. Visit wernerfinancial.com to set up your meeting today and get started on your financial future.
All right, welcome back to the Roncalli Ascension St. Vincent Gymnasium for set 3 of the Roncalli Royals boys volleyball team versus the Zionsville Eagles. Right now, we're going to have the keys to set 3 brought to you by Kids Abilities.
No limits and only possibilities. Pediatric occupational, speech, and feeding therapy for children from birth to 21. Going beyond therapy, unlocking each child's full potential. KidsAbilitiesIndiana.com.
And our keys to set 3 here, we're going to switch it up from all the keys that we've been talking about so far because I want to see some more back row attacks. I want to see... Do we see slides? Do we see
We have not seen one slide. Now, on the Royal side, I kind of understand why you're not doing many slides because you have 3 hitters at all times. But for Zionsville, they have a front row setter, and they have not run slides at all. That's a great swing by Xavier Lowry down the line, especially since JT Norris has had his number a few times. He did a really good job. Brennan Purley is back to serve, and that moves A.J. Morris to the front row to hit right side. We have the same starting lineup for the Royals, and it appears the same starting lineup for Zionsville. There's a back row attack by Jack Miller. Great dig, fingertip dig almost by Charlie Spearing, and they get almost nearly a free ball. Great swing by JT Norris, and Charlie Spearing can't get out of the way.
And you know, I don't know if that hit hands off the block, but sometimes all you can do is just hit it as hard as you can at someone.
Exactly. Exactly. Charlie's a little frustrated with himself, but, you know, that's something that happens in the game. You just got to move on. One thing we talk to our kids all the time about is you can't focus on the last play because it's going to affect the next play, and you just got to kind of be a goldfish and forget about it. That's a great off speed by Maddox Butler. He has played a great game tonight. He's really hit some balls really hard, and then he goes to the off speed and everybody's back on their heels, and that's when you use the tip.
And he's done it in a couple different directions too. We haven't seen him as much on the gap set, but we have seen him go at the libero. We've seen him go back at the setter, and that can get really tough to block when you have to push one way or the other.
Absolutely.
Great set.
Great set. Xavier Lowry goes with that hybrid serve and goes right at Jack Miller. He's front row right now, and he's pulled back passing, and they're making him work really hard. And then they had a great transition, and Spearing puts it down.
There's that hybrid serve from Lowry again.
Middle attack by Zionsville. Purley with a great set. Great save again. Great cover. Okay. Oh. Just not pressed over again. Jack Miller takes advantage of that high block that's just not over that net.
And we're saying not pressed over because I know we've said it quite a few times. We're basically saying those blockers are about a foot off the net. So, like Coach Bell's saying, hands are really high, but you're giving just enough space for that hitter to just sneak it right in between your body and the net.
Absolutely. The key is you got to go over and then up. If you go high and you don't get pressed over, this game is way too fast. You'll get tooled quite a lot. They're serving Jack Miller again, who's front row. He's doing a great job handling that pass. Good out of system set by the libero. Spearing hits cross court. Another back row attack by Zionsville. And they get
an overpass just barely in there.
Kind of a miss hit, but it scores. A kill is a kill. Number 7's coming into the game for JT Norris. And that's Sebastian Carbajal. And he'll serve. It's 4-4. And that ball is out.
Going to bring A.J. Morris back to serve on set 2 and in set 1. We saw him with quite a few long service runs, so I expect the same thing here to kind of break us off in set 3.
Yep, this is a strong rotation for the Royals, and he has a great serve. 2 pass by Jackson Campen, and that block is just camped up on Jack Miller, and they get a stuff block. That is Charlie Kaufman. He's in on the opposite for set 3. Kaufman is a lefty, so he'll bring different angles on that opposite side. Zionsville was out of system on that first pass.
Great dig by Mitchell from the Eagles.
That's a scoop there.
That's a scoop.
Yeah, and that's a great swing by Miller. Again, Roncalli not disciplined on that block, and he takes advantage of that.
And that dig is so difficult because in middle back, you're kind of charged with running the entire baseline of the end zone.
Corner. Yeah.
And not only was that all the way over on the edge, it wasn't even on the baseline. That was basically where the setter should have been.
Yes, I think the setter might have, well, he's front row, so I don't know if right back was moving up thinking they were going to tip. But he is lucky he's a long-armed person. Spearing with this good serve, good top spin. And now there will be a joust at the net.
2 jousts for this rally. And Mitchell takes a big swing. Not quite able to get that over the tape. But credit Hovanek with some aggressive hands.
Yeah, being up and over.
And pressed.
Spearing to serve again. Zionsville has struggled in rotation 5. That's with the setter's middle front. They're using Jack Mitchell on the back row attack. Kind of not very fluid there, and he makes an error deep.
All right, Zionsville takes their first timeout in set 3, and we're going to stay here. This timeout's going to be brought to you by Skip Cheeseman Dental Services. Smile with confidence. For all your dental needs, call Skip Cheeseman DDS in Plainfield. Call or visit online at cheesemandds.com. Now, we've seen Zionsville take a few quick timeouts in each set right away. What's the benefit? And I don't know. What's your strategy when you take a timeout? Are you a below 10 timeout taker?
Oh, definitely depending on how we're playing. I think you want to at least try to stop this momentum because it's 9-5 Royals, and you don't want to get that score out of hand where it's too difficult to get back. But then I'm a little bit more conservative with my second timeout, depending on how we're battling. If we're just not doing the right things, then I'm quick to use 2, and then I'm quick to sub in and out. Because volleyball is a game of momentum. We haven't talked much about that. You see that a lot in men's and women's volleyball, but the momentum can change quite quickly in volleyball.
And a little let serve.
A little clip serve by Charlie Spearing. And now he's subbing in the men, subbing in Nolan Hall for him to serve.
Give him the ace right out of the timeout and take him right out. Tough out here.
Exactly. That's a great float serve. Good pass by Jackson Campen. And great tool off the block. That's Merrick Mitchell. Royals need to be more disciplined on their block.
We'll give Mitchell a little bit of credit there, too, because you could see him drop his thumb on his swing. That ball was either flying out of bounds or going off the hands there.
Exactly.
And again, that one we're just fading away on the block.
Yep. You got Havanek on that. You know, being a middle blocker, though, is hard work. Hard work. It's you're constantly moving laterally. You can't stop. Then you have to transition to hit.
As a former middle, I will argue till the end of my day, one of the hardest positions on the court.
Absolutely.
Nobody realizes it until you have to jump 100 times in a 10-minute span.
Yeah, middle blockers have to be pretty gritty. They have to be kids who are willing to work really hard. That's a one pass for Zionsville. They're out of system, and that allows the block to set up nicely, and they press over, and Charlie Kaufman gets that block. Maddox closes as well. Jack Havanek back to serve again. He had a good run earlier. See if he can keep it up.
Oh, he's not known for his defense, known for his out-of-system balls.
A great swing out of the back row by Jack Miller. They were a little short on offense there, so they're using their power hitter out of the back row there, which is an excellent choice.
Back in row one for the Eagles with Ung the setter serving. And there's a nice two-ball out of Xavier Laurie. And Maddox Butler taking not one, but two blockers to give him an open net there.
Great pass. All starts with the pass. If you don't have the pass, you can't do any of that. And A.J. Morris delivers a beautiful set. Zionsville was pretty defenseless against that. Great serve by Brandon Purley, ace.
And two big momentum plays in a row.
Absolutely.
It's tough to get a ball hit really hard at you and then a serve that just drops right in front. Yes. So we'll see how the Eagles respond here. But I think the next couple plays are going to be really big for the trajectory of your set three.
Absolutely. And they've been serving Merrick Mitchell in zone 5. He's outside right now, making him work a little bit harder. And they were able to set up on that block again. That's A.J. Morris and Maddox Butler. I think Maddox got most of that ball. So we haven't really talked about rotations, but we haven't really talked about zones, but it's kind of similar. So in volleyball, you want to serve certain people in certain zones. Another stuff block, they have Mitchell's number at this point. They're going to relieve him with Luca Nunez. But similar, zone 1 is the right back corner, and then it actually goes kind of clockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2, 3, 4 are your short zones. 5 is your left back, and 6 is middle of the court. There's your back row attack from the Royals.
There we go, and a great pancake by Campins.
Absolutely. Great swing by A.J. Morris there. Oh, shoot. Dig to nowhere.
Got hands on the ball, but there is a strategy when the setter digs that's a little bit different than the rest of the team in general.
Absolutely.
Where that setter's trying to put the ball in the libero's hands where everybody else is trying to put it to the front row. And sometimes when you're taught something so young, you still kind of have those habits in the back of your head.
Muscle memory, right? Yeah, so when our setters are digging, we actually want them to try to dig to that libero. But we do teach all kids the goal is middle of the court. Obviously, you always like that perfect dig, but that's not going to be realistic on a lot of attacks. And so digging middle of the court is going to still allow you to run an offense. Great block. Looks like J.T. Norris got blocked, went off of him as well. All right, Luthane is back in for Lowry, and then Owen Geiger, freshman Owen Geiger is going to come in for Nolan Hall. Luthane is back to serve. Great float serve. One pass by Campins, and they're out of system, and good dig. And Geiger hits ball out of bounds.
Maybe a few nerves on the first few swings we'll see here, but expect him to come right back here.
It's always a little nerve-wracking that first time you get into a varsity game as a freshman, that's for sure. Pass by Luthane. A.J. Morris with the swing. And Maddox Butler once again puts it away.
Maddox having a great game, and even Zionsville knows what the plan is. You can hear them yelling one, but Maddox is just putting that ball wherever he wants right now.
Aiden Campbell's going to come in for A.J. Morris, and Noah Meyer is going to go back to serve. It's 18-10 Royals. Serving Mitchell again because he's front row, and they want to try to make him work and get out of system, but he's doing a great job. Pass to attack there. Sebastian Carbajal's in for Norris, and he's going to serve.
Score is 19-10 on that Marian University scoreboard. Royals up in set 3. Now 20-10, reaching the red zone of set 3.
Kaufman's going to come in for Purley, and A.J. Morris is going to come back in for Aiden Campbell and set.
All right, Zionsville's going to take their second timeout, and we're going to stay here for the Roncalli roll call, the Kennel at Arbor Lane. It's time for the Roncalli roll call, brought to you by the Kennel at Arbor Lane. Let us know you are watching, and we will shout you out right here. We're a little late, but we'll still give you a shout out for the next few minutes. Trust the Kennel at Arbor Lane to take care of your pets while you are away, where pets feel at home and Royal fans stay connected.
Well, the Royals have been in control in set 2 and set 3. Set 1 was much more competitive and back and forth. I think Roncalli has cleaned up some things and improved their block, as well as just forcing that middle and really we don't have live stats, but I would imagine that both of our middles are hitting quite high in this match.
And Coach Jennings is going to be happy about that, but I can only imagine that they're going to work on blocking the rest of the week.
If I had one thing to tell him to work on, it would be blocking. That is for sure.
But you know, as
it's the beginning of the season.
The beginning of the season, as a very winning coach here in this program, I think he's well aware.
Absolutely.
Going to give him credit where it's due.
Seen him coaching on the sidelines about blocking the entire time. Great serve by A.J. Morris, gets Zionsville out of system. And then see if they can establish that. Oh, great aggressive swing by Owen Geiger, but he just misses. And Mitchell Mater is coming in for Jack Havanek. It's 19-12.
And we're passing 2.
We are. Good pass by Luthane. And swing by Geiger. Good dig by Campins there. Gonna take the setter out again. A.J. Morris digs. Kaufman with a strong swing off the block. Use and kill.
Great use of that lefty arm to get a tool.
Absolutely. Lowry back in for Luthane as Lowry moves to the front row. And Geiger's going to serve. Oh, into the net. I think that's all nerves. And then we have Owen Dinser coming in for Owen Geiger.
And, you know, you get those nerves out now as a freshman, and then next year, been there, done that. Good to start it out as a sophomore.
Absolutely. I'm sure that's Nick Jennings' thought process. Free ball for Zionsville. Good block. See if they can manage to score, and Xavier Lowry does there. Butler's back in the middle. And Pierce is going to come in for Lowry.
We're using all of our subs this set.
Yes, we are. Mitchell Mater's back to serve, I do believe, but I think Jennings is asking for a lineup check. He's had so many subs, he's not sure. There we go. Mater's going to serve. And that's an ace.
That's an ace for Mater. This ace is going to be brought to you by O'Reilly Branson Funeral Home, serving families with the utmost dignity and compassion. Family owned and operated since the early 70s, your wishes are honored to the finest detail, allowing you to celebrate the life and cherished memories of your loved ones. O'ReillyBranson.com.
Oh, Zionsville gets a block there off of Ben Pierce, and it's 22-14. Ben Pierce is pulled back to pass with Owen Denzer and Noah Meyer. Denzer with a good pass, and Kaufman with a good attack, but we got to cover that ball. That's easily coverable.
It was a good high swing.
Very good.
But Mitchell's proven himself as a blocker tonight against quite a few different right sides.
Absolutely. Good serve by Ung. Great pass by Denzer. And Maddox Butler gets the kill again. I feel like we've called his name all night. He's absolutely killing it.
Quite literally. And just props to him for making himself available in transition and at every play. Like we mentioned earlier, middle is you're only as good as how hard you work.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot to block, there's a lot to transition, but if you're up and available, you're going to be the most efficient hitter out on the court.
Absolutely. And, obviously you have to grade up. That's a great dig. I think they're going to call 4.
Oh,
no. Okay, it's still alive. Free ball to Zionsville. Some great scrappy play here.
And that had to have been the play of the game. Talk about scrappy defense.
Absolutely. Great save out of the backcourt there by Noah Meyer.
And we have match point for Brennan Purley here.
Oh, he's going to top. Okay. Flip serve.
And the ace for Purley to end the game. Set 3 goes to the Royals for 25-15, and they did win all 3 sets, 3-0. We will be right back in 1 minute for the Piazza Produce postgame show.
Thinking about buying or selling land? Maybe a hunting paradise, some productive farmland, or a cozy home with some elbow room? Then look no further than Bill and Jay Miner, your Whitetail Properties land specialists. These Roncalli alums know West Central and South Central Indiana like the back of their hands. Don't wait. Call Bill and Jay today at 317-446-9500 or at 317-370-2422 or visit their agent profiles at whitetailproperties.com.
Tonight, our Royals played as a team, but one athlete clearly gave us a sign of greatness. And who better to help spotlight this standout performance than Business Art Designs, the experts in making big moments impossible to miss. With over 35 years of experience, they know how to make excellence stand out. From temporary signs to lasting displays, they bring every message to life. Congrats to this week's Roncalli Royals Player of the Game.
We're like on the 20s. '29th, I think. 429.
And welcome back to that Piazza Produce postgame show where the Royals just defeated the Zionsville Eagles 3-0. Piazza Produce is family owned and trusted in Indianapolis since 1970. Piazza is a leading distributor of the freshest produce, specialty items, protein, and more. Piazza Produce, unmatched service and freshness that you can count on. And for this post-game show, we have to give a shout-out to Coach Jennings on their 6-0 and the Royals on their 6-0 start to the season. They really capitalized on those keys to the game, which was winning the serve and pass game, which truthfully both teams did a pretty good job in serve and pass, and using those middles. And that's where our Business Arts and Designs player of the game is going to come in.
Yes, player of the game is going to be Maddox Butler, middle blocker who had multiple kills, was always available, and had a lot of blocks as well.
Absolutely, and just keeping that offense dynamic throughout the whole night. And for the ball control, staying really calm the whole night, even when it was pretty tight the first set, not something we totally expected. But they were able to prove that they're able to be challenged and still play their own offense throughout the game.
Yes, give credit to Zionsville. They came out on fire, and they really slowed down the Royals' offense with their block in that first set. And Roncalli had to make some adjustments, which they did very well, and they were in control in set 2 and 3.
Absolutely. And we want to thank you for joining us. It's me, Heather Lazan, and Coach Jessica Bell, the assistant coach of the girls program. We hope you enjoyed, and please join the Roncalli Media Network for their lacrosse coverage next Tuesday. 5:30 will be the girls' game. Boys' game will be at 7:30. And if you enjoyed Coach Bell and I's broadcast tonight, we will be back on air for boys volleyball on April 29th for RHS versus Guerin. That one of those last few conference showdowns.
Absolutely. Should be a fun one.
Thank you all. We will see you next time on the Roncalli Media Network.
This broadcast is a copyrighted production of the Roncalli Media Network. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or any other use of this presentation without the express written consent of Roncalli High School is prohibited. Thank you for watching on the Roncalli Media Network.